Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho.
And this is Jacob Waters.
And today we are doing another NFL offseason breakdown. And today we are talking about the Vikings.
That's my team.
This is your
I love
team.
it. Yeah.
This is your moment to shine. So we're going to do... Let's first, before we really get into this offseason, let's take a step back and look at the 2019 season for the Vikings.
Yeah, I liked it too. As a whole, it was a good year.
I mean, a lot of fan bases would be really excited about what the Vikings did this year if it happened for their team, right?
But there is a big but. We knew that as a Vikings fan, getting Kirk Cousins, we knew this was a Super Bowl push, a Super Bowl year, and we fell a bit short of that goal in the regular season personally.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, you can't, like you said, you can't win the Super Bowl every single year.
So we're talking about a team that went 10-6.
Yes.
They go into the second round of the playoffs. Now, first of all, this is a 10-6 team, and they played like it. They were a really good team, especially down the stretch. Had a little bit of an issue starting off. There was a couple issues. Your wide receivers did not like Kirk Cousins for the first month of the season.
The drama was so
rough.
I do not like it.
Especially with Diggs, right?
Yes.
We're going to kind of talk about that as well. There's a lot of issues with Diggs. But I mean, we're talking about a team that goes 10-6 in a really good NFC conference and gets the 6th seed because they just happen to be playing the wrong conference.
You know how it goes sometimes.
They ended up getting the 6th seed when there was a 4th seed that went 9-7.
Pretty much exactly. NFC East.
Yeah, exactly. So really good season. They pull off a huge upset in overtime, right?
Yes.
In overtime against the Saints, and then come back, struggle against the 49ers, the eventual Super Bowl losers. And, a good season. I mean, you can't be mad about that. You had the hardest possible road you could have.
As a whole, I knew going into the playoffs, I was like, hey, let's see what we can do,
Absolutely. Now, the only downside really for this team and this franchise is they made a decision when they signed Kirk Cousins, 2 years ago?
Yes.
That it was Super Bowl or bust, right? We had to agree with that. We're talking about a team that was... in the NFC Championship the year before,
with
right?
Case
Keenum, and they were thinking, we're a quarterback away. We're going to go out. We're going to get the biggest, franchise quarterback on the market since Peyton Manning, honestly. And we're going to try and make a push. And now we're going into year 3 of that contract, the final year of that contract. And the push has not really worked out.
No. First year missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was a dud. That was major disappointment. A lot of doubt, personally, coming from Kirk Cousins and the whole signing. Our whole franchise didn't really know what to go. We rebounded, though, this year. At the 10-6, Dalvin came on strong. He's healthy. Mm-hmm. It looked promising. It's just as an embodiment, as a 3-year push. This is our last chance to get the Super Bowl. And there's a lot of good teams out there.
And it seems like probably the worst luck you could have, just as far as the...
As a fan, I think we're trending down instead of up in a lot of people's minds.
That's scary. So what we're doing for this episode is we're focusing on they need to win now, right?
Yes.
And I think you would agree. How do you feel if whatever happens this year? What happens in the offseason next year? Regardless of what happens this year, what happens next year?
They're busting up the roster. I'm almost certain on that. I mean, you're at a point where you have to decide: do you want to repay Kirk Cousins with the cap going up and different quarterback salaries rising, falling? Kirk's going to want to re-up. He's going to want another deal like that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that is keeping our cap so low. It's kind of crippling our team as a whole right now. Not saying I don't like Kirk, but it's putting you back a little bit.
Absolutely. So this is a Super Bowl or bust situation for the Vikings. So what we're doing with this offseason breakdown, we are We're making decisions that are best for the team to win right away, and we're also being realistic with the situations they're in, the cap space and stuff like that, which we'll get to. We'll actually transition right now to. I mean, this is a team who obviously we know is really good at running back. They have Dalvin Cook. They have a pretty good run team altogether.
It's a smash mouth style play.
And their entire offense is built off the play action and that running style. And then they have really good defensive line, right? And there's a lot of, they won a lot of games with that formula, right?
And our weaknesses really revolve around that offensive line. They did an above-average job with run blocking. I really think they stepped up in that department. Garrett Bradbury stepped in as our first round draft pick last year.
Played
really well, yes.
Yeah, played really
There's still 4 other spots on that line that we desperately need to fix.
Y'all need to fix that.
And I know it's boring. There might be some Vikings fans out. No, I'll actually say it. I don't think there's a Vikings fan out there who'd be upset with an offensive line pick. We all know that's what we need.
Yeah.
We're in a push year. Let's get that fixed and let's get that settled.
I absolutely
agree. Other weaknesses fall with our secondary. trade, especially with this free agency, who we're probably going to lose.
Rhodes killed y'all last year. I mean,
Xavier
Rhodes was really bad.
He went from
really
up here in my mind to just Rhodes are wide open, get him out of there. Yeah,
he fell off.
It was bad.
He's a perfect example for what we see with cornerbacks all the time. Cornerbacks fall off a cliff fast, and this happened this year.
Right after they get paid, a few years after they get paid too. Yeah, it just happens like that.
It's one of those unfortunate positions. The second you lose that athleticism, or just even the second it goes down just a little bit, you're nothing.
You could tell the exact week that he couldn't line up against number ones anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's how it goes sometimes.
Insane. So cornerback, and would you say quarterback? Because I would say
quarterback.
I would
is
say,
a future.
Yeah, I would say y'all need to get a quarterback at some point to groom to put behind Kirk Cousins, because I don't think you want to pay him again. Because that conversation hasn't happened yet. You would think if you wanted to, if you were really happy with him, an extension would probably already have happened, right?
I kind of would like to see us groom one as a Vikings fan too. I would like to see us draft a guy instead of this constant upheaval of, oh, this free agent quarterback, this free agent. No, I would like to have at least a guy back there. That we can look
honestly,
to for a future.
The last guy you did is Teddy Bridgewater. He's going on the market now.
Yeah.
Maybe you make a move. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, I'm good.
You want to go pay Teddy Bridgewater?
I'm good.
He can break his other leg in practice.
Hard pass. Yeah.
All right. So in free agency, what are we looking at for free agency this year?
Well, it's not looking good. It's pretty bleak. We all know that. Vikings are 32nd in the league. I think their cap sits around $1.3 million.
God.
It's horrible.
That's horrible.
Technically, that's not even enough to pay your rookies almost.
Yeah.
So the cap is going to go up.
Yeah.
That'll help us freeing up some contracts by cutting Xavier Rhodes. I'm almost certain I can say that is going to happen in our scenario.
We would think
that will be happening.
Yeah.
So we got to retain Anthony Harris. He is our strong safety. His Pro Football Focus is #1 rated safety last year.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He's young, super talented. The problem is the price tag that comes along with it. And like I said, with us being sitting at 32nd, where can you get it done?
The thing is, teams are always able to make
exactly.
moves.
They're going to restructure, around. Yes.
So we're going to say that they're able to make that move.
And we need to get him.
Yeah, I don't think either of us really understand how that works, but that's fine. Yeah. They're probably going to be able to make a move, make something happen to where they can get Anthony Harris. And there's one big name that y'all have to get your own guys, really, right?
Yes.
And then
there's no other free agent other than people that are on the Vikings.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah.
I mean, there's always the offensive line chance, but we just don't have the funds to be able to get them in. So, like I said, Anthony Harris, we have Trey Waynes, we have Everson Griffin, Stephen Weatherly. Those are starters on our team.
Those are all guys that are free agents after the season.
Yes, that we have to try to figure out a way to get around. Well, we're not going to be able to. So we focus Anthony Harris and Trey Waynes is the other one.
Those are the two main guys. Trey Waynes you have to get back because your cornerback group is so bad already.
Depleted.
Yeah, Trey Waynes is your best cornerback right now, and he's not supposed to be, but he is.
Mike Hughes, our draft pick from 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago. He got hurt his first year, and I was a big fan of that pick. And
I wasn't. I was kind of tired of us taking a cornerback all the time. We've done it since Zimmer.
That is the
Mackenzie Alexander was another one too.
Yeah, that is the most amazing thing about this roster is one of the biggest weaknesses for this team is cornerback.
But we always take one.
They have taken a cornerback so many times.
Yes.
This should be their biggest strength, and it's their.
We should have an abundance. We should be deciding who makes who gets the cut.
Exactly. Y'all should have 3 or 4 starting cornerbacks, and you don't. You just don't. And it is really, really unfortunate. So moving on from there. We have to assume they're gonna have to make some moves in the draft to try and get themselves in a good position. They're picking 25th overall, right, in the first round. So all the top end talent is probably gone by then.
You're painting such a sad picture for my team.
I know it sucks, and because they're really making a push. I would love to see them and this is just theoretically.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them package their first round pick this year and then take a first round pick next year to trade up and get one of the top tackles in the class. Right? I would love to see that.
That'd be the pretty move.
I think they need to make a move to really solidify themselves for a chance to make a push. Right?
Yes.
Because we're painting it as this bad thing. They have a really good roster, right? Like we're talking about a team that won 10 games against really good competition. So they have a good roster.
Sitting in the NFC North is not an easy task.
Yeah, so I'm good with the team as a whole. They just have to get these pieces fixed. I'd love to see that move. In our scenario, we don't do trades, right? So at 25 overall, we have them taking Josh Jones, tackle out of Houston. What do you think about that pick?
I like it a lot. If he's there, that's the thing, because I think there's a strong chance that he could go before that because of the linemen prioritizing everything.
Yeah.
We need one there. He would fit right in. He'd be a day one starter. add depth to our team, and it would help out Dalvin.
Yeah, it absolutely would. And the unfortunate thing about it is Josh Jones, that's maybe the fifth tackle on most people's boards. It could be farther than that. I mean, who knows? But we go back around in the second round. We're going to have them take John Simpson out of Clemson. Another this is a guard. He's gonna bump inside opposite James Bradbury.
It's not the pretty picks, but it's the picks that are going to win you games.
That's what they need to do. Yeah, if they can figure out this offensive line, specifically the pass blocking offensive line, where every pass doesn't have to come out of play action, they're going to be able to make some moves. And we're talking about a running team that wasn't great, or excuse me, we're talking about a running team that was great with a bad offensive line, or at least
exactly. So imagine
average.
If they can get one that can block for Kirk and help out everything else.
I absolutely agree.
And in the third round, we say the Vikings should address the secondary since they already bolstered up that line. Bryce Hall out of Virginia looks perfect for us.
I think that's a guy who, I mean, we're having him go in the third round. He could easily be gone by the time the third round starts. But I mean, this is a dude who deserves to be in the top 100.
It's a Mike Zimmer type of corner.
It absolutely is. Yeah, big guy who's going to be able to move around a little bit.
You want the physical guy. Yeah,
physical corner. I really like him out of Virginia. I think he's one of those guys in a class that's kind of sneaky deep. Like you don't have a ton of top end talent at corner behind Okudah.
But it's there.
Yeah. But there is some depth there, and I think this is another guy who, I mean, he would fit really well, and he might come in and be a starter right away, which would be kind of crazy.
Depending on how free agency shapes up, he really could.
Yeah. But there we go, guys. That is our off-season breakdown for the Vikings. Those are the picks we think they should make. What do you think? Let us know in the comments what you'd like to see the Vikings do in free agency, in the draft, and follow the channel for a lot more draft content, for a lot more off-season breakdowns. Check out our podcast,
yes,
Between the Pylons podcast. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
And Skull.